talk sales follow-up strategies. How do you follow up with a potential client without being annoying, without being pushy, and still get a decision? That is what I'm breaking down today for you in today's episode of Uncensored Sales TV. First things first, make sure you tap the bell and subscribe so you would never miss a video. You never miss the opportunity to learn tangible tactics on how to get clients and finally leave your 9-to-5. My name is Ryan Dowdy and I am a sales coach. I help high-achieving women leave their 9-to-5 and build six-figure businesses by mastering their sales skills. And one of the questions that we hear all the time from the women in our community is, how do I follow up without being annoying? And so I'm going to use the example that we have already had one conversation with a potential client, and we are trying to follow up with that person. Because there's a lot of different ways to follow up, so I want to give you a real example. Maybe you've had a sales conversation with someone, had a discovery call, a consult of some kind. How do you follow up? Right? First things first, when it comes to follow-up, my friend, is when we are in sales conversations, I want you to always schedule your next step. Never end one conversation without the next conversation scheduled. Say, for instance, you put together custom quotes for your clients, right? So you run a discovery call, you run a consult call, and then you schedule the next meeting to go over the proposal together, right? Say, for instance, you do pitch on the call, so you have a package, you're able to say, here's my packages, here's my solution, and the person isn't able to make a decision. That's okay. Schedule a follow-up call to get their decision, right? Say, for instance, they said yes. Right? We want to schedule the next meeting and the next step in the sales conversation, even if it is your first consult, first session, onboarding meeting, whatever that looks like for you. So when we have a sales conversation of any kind, we always want to make sure that we go ahead and follow that next step. So we schedule that next follow-up step so that we don't have to follow up. We don't even have to worry about it because it's already done. It's already on the calendar. However, sometimes we forget to do that, or maybe you're looking back in retrospect and you haven't done that already. So what are some ways you can follow up? So for me, if that first meeting is missed, we schedule a follow-up and that person no-shows for some reason, I am going to send a message immediately and say, hey, Sarah, I know we were supposed to connect at 1 o'clock today. I missed you. Really looking forward to discussing next steps, right? So I'm going to do that immediately when that meeting is missed. And then the next day, I'm going to send another message that says, hey, Sarah, wasn't able to connect yesterday. I have some time available on Tuesday or Thursday. Do one of those times work best for you and I to get this conversation rescheduled? And then I'm going to follow up the next day and I'm going to say something similar. Hey, Sarah, still looking forward to continuing our conversation. Wanted to give you a couple of other times on my calendar. And notice that this is somewhat close together and probably to you feels a little bit aggressive, but here's why I think that this is important. One, we make a lot of assumptions that it's about us, right? Like, oh, well, they don't like us, or they've already decided they're a no, or they're not interested. And so we've made it about us. But for me, I find that most people are just really super busy. There's a lot going on in life today. And especially if you are working with, a mom who's homeschooling their kids, or a business owner who's running a business, right? There's a lot going on. So I make the assumption that most humans are just busy and not rude, right? Because to me, the lack of communication after I've given you my time is just rude. And I know that that probably doesn't sit well with a lot of people. But for me, as human beings, human to human respect, if it's a no, tell me that it's a no, because otherwise I just assume that you are just busy, because otherwise you are an adult that could easily tell me no. And that mindset, my friend, has served me over and over again, that if they were a no, they would just tell me no, because otherwise it would be rude to just blow me off. And that has allowed me to be persistent with ever worrying about being annoying, because I'm not being annoying. You're being rude, right? And so for me, that mindset works really, really well. But the reason that I want those conversations stacked up against one another really quickly is because I find the closer to that initial conversation that you can have that next conversation, the more likelihood you will have of actually landing that client. I find that the more time that goes on between initial conversation and the second conversation, the less likelihood I am of getting a yes. So I find that, hey, if I don't go all in these next 48 to 72 hours, I'm probably not gonna get the deal anyway. So now's as good a time as any to lean in. The second thing that I like to do when it comes to follow-up is making sure that I always ask for permission to follow up, right? If I don't hear from you, can I call you? If I don't hear from you, can I send you an email? If I don't hear from you, can I reconnect with you? Because then I have permission, right? Then it's no longer annoying or any of those things. I have permission. So first things first, always schedule your follow-up. But if you don't, make sure that your touch points are consistent, right? Immediately after they miss a call, the next day and the next day, but always asking for permission to follow up, right? Or telling them. in that email, it's, hey, Sarah, if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna reach back out tomorrow. What I will eventually do though is let my follow-up start to space itself out. So I went for immediately, next day, then I'm gonna let 2 days go by, and then 3 days go by, and then 4 days go by. And I'm gonna follow up pretty aggressively for about 2 weeks. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and send some sort of breakup email or message or note. And guys, side note for follow-up is make sure that you're following up on whatever platform you were originally connecting with that person. So if you guys were trading emails, follow up on email. If you were in Messenger, if you were in text, if it was over the phone, whatever works best. But I always try to use the platform that I originally connected with the person. That seems to work best for me. What do we say in that breakup email? And for me, the breakup email is a couple of things. One, it's to let them know that I'm done following up with you. But two, I want to leave the door open. See, some people realize that it's rude to blow someone off and to ghost them and to not give them an answer. And then they feel bad that they've done that. And I don't ever want anyone to feel bad. I want them to know that the door is always open, right? The door is always open to come back. So once you do finally decide that you're ready to hire, you're ready to, bring on a health coach, a life coach, a virtual assistant, a digital marketer, whatever you are, I want you to still feel like you can come back to me and not feel bad because you have ghosted me. So what I will normally do is say, hey, Sarah, I was really looking forward to working together. I can tell by your lack of response that the timing doesn't make sense right now. I hope that you're well. I wish you the best of luck, and just know that the door is always open. Feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. Sometimes I'll throw in something along the lines of, hey, Sarah, I want to be respectful of your time and mine. So I'm going to assume that the timing just doesn't make sense because I want to let them know that I am important, right? You're important, Sarah, but so am I. My time is important. What I do is valuable. And so your lack of response is telling me that the timing isn't right. However, I do want you to know that the door is always open because like I said, I don't want them going to look for someone else. I want them to come back to me. And what the breakup email will often do is get a response. It will say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've just been so busy. And yeah, you're right. The timing isn't right. And then again, I will ask for permission. Can I circle back with you in 30 days and see how things are going? Or sometimes I will get a response that says, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I never got back to you. We went a different direction. Then at least I know that it's a no. And for me, no is so much better than maybe, right? I feel like maybe is sales purgatory. So I'm okay with a no. Oftentimes that breakup email will elicit a response. So sales follow-up strategies. First things first, never leave a conversation without the next conversation scheduled. If that scheduled meeting gets missed, it's okay to be aggressive in your follow-up. So immediately when the meeting is missed, the next day and the next day, and then start to space your communication out till you get to about 14 days, about 2 weeks, and then send your breakup email. And remember, anytime you ask for permission to follow up with someone, you are now no longer annoying or spammy or any of those other things because you have permission to do so. If you are looking for a tribe of women who are also looking to leave their 9-to-5 and grow 6-figure businesses, I want to invite you to come hang out with us on social media. You can find us in the Ambitious Women Entrepreneurs Mastering Sales Skills community over on Facebook. You can follow us at Uncensored Sales on Instagram, at Uncensored Sales on TikTok. And I've also created a list of 15 different income producing activities that you can do today in your business that require no tech, no prep work. You don't even have to leave the house if you don't want to. So click below and download that, and I'll see you in the next video.